I'm a spirit channeler and oracle card reader who channels both light and shadow energies in my readings, which means if you're easily triggered, please find yourself another reader. What is blocking you? You have 4 cards to choose from left to right: card 1, card 2, card 3, and card 4. Pause the video if you need some more time to choose, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pal number 1. So what is blocking you is that you guys are not expressing your creative energy. So there's some creative energy that is trying to be expressed. This could be creative energy in the traditional sense, or it could be an entrepreneurial business type creative energy. But whichever one it is, you guys are getting intuitive downloads and ideas and inspiration to create something new, and you guys are not following through with it. You guys are focusing on everything else but this thing. So you guys are most likely focusing on your day job and are not taking this idea or this creative inspiration seriously, because you don't think it's going to amount to much, and you think it's probably like a waste of your time. You're trying to be an adult and focus on tangible, quote unquote, tangible things that are going to bring you immediate results. But this creative energy needs an outlet, and since it doesn't have an outlet, it's causing blockages in your life. So this is what's blocking you. You got to listen to your intuition, your thoughts, your daydreams, whatever is trying to be expressed. Again, whether it's like creativity in the traditional sense, or whether it's some sort of business idea, or both, could be both. It needs to be expressed. So your free time when you're not at work should be spent on this creative endeavor. So use your free time and use your extra energy and put it towards this. So those are your messages for group 1. Hello, group 2. So what is blocking you is that you guys are trying to go after goals that are not truly your own, and you are being protected from this. So you might feel like you have goals and you're being blocked from accomplishing them. And the thing is that these goals are not truly yours. They're conditionings from society, or you seeing things that other people have and thinking that it would be a good idea to get those things or do those things because it would lead to success. Like, for example, if you see like a friend of yours or an acquaintance who does a particular job, you might think, okay, and they make a good living, you might think, okay, well, they make a good living from this job, so maybe I should pursue this job as well. But you actually don't truly want to do that job. That's not what your soul truly wants to do. But you're just trying to follow the money or follow the success, and you are trying to link other people's success to, of course, what they're doing, and then you're trying to mimic that to get the same level of success. But that is not, well, what they're doing is not aligned with what you should be doing or what you truly want to do. So you're just being protected from that. This is why all of these opportunities or your goals are being blocked, because they're not truly your own. You would have to go into a meditative mode to get to the core of what it is you truly want, separate from the conditionings, separate from the lustful ideas, the shiny objects and shiny lifestyles that you're seeing. You would have to go into meditative mode to really get to the core of what it is you want, regardless and separate from that, because that is not aligned with you. That doesn't mean that you can't be successful. It just means that the manner in which you're trying to go. Sorry, group 2, my camera cut off, so I'm using a different recording device. So hopefully the audio and everything is good on this one. So what I was saying is that what you want or what you're trying to go after is not aligned with what you truly want. So you're being protected from that. So you might think, oh, this is it, because I want to be successful, so therefore this is why I'm trying to be a doctor, for example. This is just an example. Being a doctor is not the only way to be successful, obviously. So if you're having issues with getting into med school or whatnot, or you're flunking your classes or whatnot, it's blocking you because you don't truly want to do that. If you spend your years studying that, at some point you're going to realize, oh, this is not really what I want to do. So you would have wasted time and money. And similarly, if you're trying to get a particular type of job and you're not getting interviews or whatnot, you would have wasted your time in that position, instead of spending your time working in a position that's more aligned with what you want. Again, because you're blinded essentially when it comes to your goals and your desires. So your desires are tainted. So you need to, again, go into a meditative state to be able to get to the core of what it is you actually want. Like, strip it down. Stop putting labels on it. Like, stop saying, oh, I want to be successful, therefore this is why I'm going after this job, for example. Okay, you want to be successful. What else could that look like? What would you want to do if you were guaranteed success? And you might think, oh, something might pop into your head, but then you might think, oh, that won't really bring me success. Well, if it's popping into your head, it probably will bring you success. It just might take a little bit longer, or it just might be more difficult for you to visualize, but that doesn't mean that it won't bring you success. So strip it down, get to whatever is popping into your head when you think about what you would really want to do. It's going to take some deconditioning to get back to that place, but you can definitely do it. But the reason why you're being blocked is because you're going after desires that are not truly your own. So those are your messages, group 2. Hello, group 3. Welcome to your reading. So what is blocking you is fears and low self-esteem. So I'm seeing your goals being planted internally, but because the soil is poisoned, it is poisoning the seeds and it is corrupting them, and they're not really producing fruit or any kind of vegetation. That's how I'm seeing it. So it's like you have these ideas, or you have like aspirations, but because you have so many fears and such low self-esteem, by the time it settles in your being, it gets poisoned and corrupted and twisted and contorted, and it doesn't amount to anything. It doesn't manifest. It doesn't. Nothing becomes of it, because you kind of talk yourself out of it, or you talk yourself down, and that's why you're being blocked. So you're going to have to work on your fears and your low self-esteem. Stop comparing yourself to people who are doing better than you, because it's not doing you any good. You might feel like, oh, I should be comparing myself to people who are doing better than me, because it's going to lead to me being more ambitious and wanting to better myself. But for you guys, it's not having that effect. It's actually having the effect of making you feel worse about yourself. So it's actually better for you guys to compare yourself to people below you, people who are not doing as well as you. And that will help give you a better perspective as to where you are in life and what you've actually accomplished, and your skills and that sort of stuff. And it'll give you a better perspective around that, and then you'll start to feel better about yourself, and that's when you'll start to feel more like you can actually do these things and accomplish these things. If you compare yourself to people who are not as accomplished or not at the place in life as where you are right now. Also, when it comes to your fears, instead of you guys spending your time visualizing the great outcomes that you want, spend your time visualizing the outcomes that you don't want while you're relaxed, because then that will lessen your fears around them and they'll be less scary to you. So if you're afraid you're going to fail at something, visualize yourself actually failing at it. And then you'll start to feel unemotional in a way, mostly unemotional when it comes to that failure, the thought of failure. And then you'll be more likely to actually take the steps towards doing this thing, whatever it is, because you'll be less fearful of failure. So you guys, your techniques should be pretty much doing the opposite of what all of the whole manifestation and law of attraction and law of assumption community has been tooting. Don't look to gurus and idols, because that's just going to make you feel worse about yourself. Don't look to idols. Look to people who are not doing as well as you, and don't visualize your ideal life, because that's just going to make you feel shitty that you don't have that ideal life, and it's going to make you feel like you are really far away from that ideal life, and that it's not really possible to attain it. So if you do want to visualize an ideal life, visualize one that is closer to where you currently are. So like take very small incremental steps. So what is a outcome that's slightly better than where you currently are, and then visualize that. Don't like jump ahead to a big visualization, because that's just going to make you feel shitty and make you feel unaccomplished and make it feel very grand and impossible. But again, you should also spend your time visualizing what scares you about taking the steps that you need to take, because then you'll become more unemotional when it comes to those fears, and they won't scare you as much. So yeah, again, what's blocking you are your fears and your low self-esteem. So those are your messages, group 3. Hello, group 4. So what is blocking you is that you guys are ambiguous when it comes to what you actually want and making decisions. So you guys don't really tend to make concrete decisions, and you're ambiguous when it comes to, oh, I could have it this way or I could have it that way. Like you teeter-totter, you're kind of on the fence about a lot of things, and you don't really settle on one true thing. And when you do settle on one true thing and it doesn't happen right away, you tend to change your mind and teeter-totter again and go back, maybe back and forth once more, because you feel like it's not moving in the direction of the decision that you made. So then you start to think, okay, maybe life will start moving in the opposite direction. Maybe I made the wrong decision. So then you go back on your decision, and then nothing really happens once again. So the first thing you need to do is make concrete decisions. So stop with the ambiguity and make decisions, and don't make decisions out of fear, because there's an issue here also with fear. And listening to pile 3 may also help you, especially if you felt slightly drawn to pile 3. But you guys also have an issue with letting your fears get the best of you mentally, and you postpone making decisions out of fear, because the options that you have, you kind of feel like, well, there's one option that I truly want, but you're so fearful of the outcome of it for whatever reason that you postpone making a decision at all, because the other option is something that you don't really want, but you kind of feel like it's more practical and more attainable, at least right now. So you have to deal with your fears. So stop making decisions out of fears, or stop not making decisions out of fears. And then when you finally do make a decision, make sure that you're not making a decision out of fear. Make sure you're making a decision based on what you actually want, and stick with it, even if it seems like nothing's happening right away. Still stick with it, still stick with your decision. Also, you guys have a tendency to place your goals far off into the future. So you need to place your goals closer into the now, closer into the present, and not in an ambiguous future, because again, this ambiguity that you guys have, you place your goals far off in this ambiguous future, like maybe it'll happen one day or it'll happen eventually or something like that. You need to start placing them now in the present, and if you feel like you can't do that because it's too far out there, then you need to scale it down. And that doesn't mean that you give up on the larger goal. That just means that you scale it down to a level that you feel is attainable now, and then you continue to take incremental steps towards the larger goal. So like break it down. Don't just think about the large ultimate one and then place it far off into the future like you guys tend to do. Go after something that is achievable to you in a shorter period of time, like a much shorter period of time. So with you guys, it's a lot to do with mental blocks, not making decisions, being ambiguous, placing goals far off in the future, not being concrete, wavering. Those are your issues. So stop wavering, stop making decisions out of fear, stop not making decisions at all out of fear. And your blocks should disappear. So try it with a goal of yours that you have. So take a goal that you have, scale it down to something that's more attainable in the very near future, and make a decision that that's the goal that you want to go after and that's what you're going to take steps towards. Don't waver on that decision, even if nothing is happening right away. And work to eliminate any lingering fears that you have surrounding that decision that you made. Because your fears are going to also block your goals from manifesting, because it feels like it's protecting you from these fears. So if you spend some time visualizing the fears actually happening while you're relaxed about it, then you'll fear it less. So your minds are essentially working against you guys. So those are your messages, Pal 4.